this is what I've been doing. I mean, pretty much every year of the last 17 years, I have spent working one-on-one or in very small groups, maybe 2 or 3 people at the most at a time, or sometimes with a leadership team for a business. But most of it, hour over hour, is just one-on-one. And I get to see all of the beauty of humans. You know, they bring their vulnerabilities, their challenges, their aspirations, and it's incredible. And this isn't just the beauty of the people in this room, although we might be partial and say this is a more beautiful bunch than some. You know, maybe that's true, maybe that's not. What I want to invite is that as we move out into the world, to remember, you know, let's say you're at Home Depot later on in the day, or you're interacting with somebody in a work context, or whatever it is, just being able to remember that if we were to give those humans the opportunity to be seen, and if they were given that feeling of safety and security to really dive in and explore and understand themselves, that you would find treasure troves. It's so rich and so deep what's inside. It's incredible. So one of the things that I think that we most suffer from is disconnection, because we live inside of these fabricated house dwellings and we move around at 80 miles an hour in these metal things called cars, and too many of us are stuck in the hamster wheel in reality, like we were talking about. And we've totally lost track of ourselves as biological beings, ourselves as a cell or a unit of the earth. And in that, you know, just imagine, I forget what they call it, but there's some effect that astronauts, when they go out into space and they see that little blue ball, and they're like, whoa, the whole thing is just one cell. I think of it like a woman's egg, that Earth planet that's spinning. Right? Like, whoa. So if we're all just a part of that, and we can drop into that connection inside of ourselves and remember that, and then remember that for the other people, rather than projecting our crap either on them about how they're not okay, right? How they're kind of rude, how they're kind of disconnected, how they just cut me off on the freeway, how they're not playing along the rules that I'd like them to play along right now. Or then also what a lot of us do is inwardly collapse, which is the real story. I'm not feeling like enough. I'm not feeling lovable. I'm feeling disconnected. That's where the real pain and pathology is. And we can sometimes tank ourselves with that. Or we can step out of that whole fault, blame, shame, guilt paradigm entirely and create a different reality for ourselves. And in every moment, you're in one paradigm or the other. You're either in that fear, illusion, separation, and disconnect, or you're in a connected, flowing space. And how deeply into that space that you are, you can drop in more and more all the time. The more moments you spend there, the more that you flex that muscle. The more that you're used to it and you flex that muscle, the longer you can stay there. Right? And there's going to be days and there's going to be times, welcome to the human experience, where you're like way over there in suffering land and forgetting who you are and being disconnected. And the first thing you do is go, oh gosh, I love you. I love you, me, for the fact that I forgot, for the fact that I blew it, for the fact that I'm being a human right now. And then the next thing you do is you get yourself back online. Drop in, go color something that you don't know what it is, do some yoga, whatever you got, right? It only takes actually a breath, but sometimes you need an afternoon. Give yourself an afternoon if you need it. There's nothing more important. I can guarantee you're not going to look back on those moments and those hours of your life and say, wow, I wish I'd been more productive. You're just not. So staying out of that illusion, remembering your connection to yourself, remembering your inherent connection to everything on this earth, not just humans, but animals, trees, plants, all of it, the water. Tune into that, feel into that, breathe into it. As you're breathing into your skin, you know, if you love the water, feel the whole ocean. Whatever it is that's your biggest medicine, give it to yourself. And stop with the illusion. Set yourself free. You got this moment, and then the next moment. As many freedom moments as you can create. As many connected times. And bring everybody else along for the ride, not because you're trying to save them, but because they have to come with you. That's what happens. If you are a part of this giant one organism and you lift yourself up above that wall, you grab that Mary Poppins umbrella and you're like, whoop, like that, guess what? It's going to have an effect. But let's not focus on that, because then what you're doing is you're the dancer on stage that's like, oh, are my toes pointed properly? And then they can slip and fall, right? They can lose their groove. They can start to look like they're faking it rather than being completely aligned with their divine self, moving through the dance as though there's nothing else to do and there's no one else that exists. So be in that mode of creative alignment and just that total power. It's so juicy. And yeah, you uplift everybody else, but it's not with the burden of lifting anybody or doing anything else. You're just loving on you and loving on them and making one moment and then the next moment. So much fun. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Super fun. I want you to know that this is something that it's so precious to me, and that you're part of this pioneer group that was brave enough to get together in my living room. And there's going to be a microphone involved. Like, that was kind of like slightly terrifying at the beginning, and everybody stayed, nobody ran away, right? And then look at what happened. That's what happens when we dare to stay in that connected space and to try things that are outside of our regular playground, get out of the sandbox we're used to playing in. And I'm so grateful that all of you did. It was such a powerful experience, super juicy. You're all invited to the next party whenever that happens. I'm not sure yet. Between here and the New Year is going to be kind of a wild time of change, including moving and a bunch of travel that I already had planned, but there's going to definitely be more. And please, if you haven't done so, be sure to sign in. That would be that's really my only request for the day, as far as on that level. All right? Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.